So as a content creator and online teacher, I always create videos, I always create content, create courses for you. One of the things in my process of creating courses and putting everything together is that every time I'm putting a course together, I need to figure out how long is the course. Once I have recorded everything, once I have rendered all the videos, everything is set up, right? So I want to know exactly, for instance, for section 1 in a folder, what is the total runtime for that section or the entire course, depending on what I need. So what I would do every time I had already rendered those videos, I would go in each individual video and look at the runtime and then add it all up. I know it's embarrassing. I know there's some tools out there. I never really bothered to look, but then I realized, wait a minute, there is this thing called Python, and I know Python, so I can actually use Python to go ahead and put together a little tool for myself that I can use to solve my problem. Because this is the idea. Learn to code, you want to solve a problem. And as small as this might be, it's very helpful. So essentially what I want to be able to do is to get something similar to this. Once I have created everything, I have everything in a folder, I want to run this script, and then it will give me something like this. It's just a text file that says total number of videos is 21 in this case. Total runtime of all videos is 61 minutes. Oh, pretty cool. And it gives me the lessons and how long each lesson is, as you see here, right? So something very simple yet useful. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, let's go ahead and get started and create our Python project here. Now here's the cool thing, what I end up doing. I created a shell script that allows me to create a Python project just like that. The virtual environment and everything. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to make a directory, and let's call this videos runtime. Okay, so now I'm going to ls to c, I'm going to cd to videos runtime, ls, and you can see that it is indeed empty. So we have nothing inside here. Okay, so here's what I do. So all I do, I said set up env like this and hit enter. And what we'll do, look at what's going to happen. So the script goes ahead and pulls everything that needs to be pulled in to create an actual virtual environment for Python and set up everything for me to just get started. See at the end here, it says environment setup complete, which I love. I put it all that because I love emojis. It's very nice. And then it has run source my env activate as such. This is for Mac or Linux. And then we have also for, if you're on Windows, this is what you would use to activate your virtual environment. It's very cool. I don't have to do that manually. The only thing I need to do is to run that. Okay, so now I'm going to clear this, and if you say ls, you can see that indeed we have the app.py, the my-env, and the requirements.txt. So this is our bare bone project. Let's go ahead and open this in code, and you can see we have here my virtual environment with all the dependencies, all the things, and we have the requirements.txt, which has some items here. It has the Flask, python.env, request. So these are just a very bare bone project, Python project for you to get started with. So it's very handy. Let's go ahead and open our terminal here and close this down. I'm inside. I'm going to just paste in source my env, which I got from earlier, just to get started here to have my virtual environment ready. There we go. So now I have it all set up. Next, what we'll do is to run, of course, this requirement.txt, which is going to install all the things that we want to have, all those dependencies, those packages. Let's say pip install our requirements.txt and hit enter, and it's going to go ahead and do all the things that it needs to do. The other thing I want to do actually is I want to be able to add something else here. I'm going to add a few other ones here, such as movie.py and text blob. So movie.py is going to allow us to, it's a library or package that allows us to deal with movies and retrieve metadata of a movie, or in this case, just a video. So that's what we're going to be using. Text blob, we'll just use that because it has this functionality that we can deal with text and do all sorts of things, right? Okay, so that's all we have there. Now we can go to our code, and you can see all of these I didn't have to write at all, right? But before we go even further, before I forget, I'm going to run again this pip install requirements text because I added new dependencies, new packages. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, all seems well. Let's go clear and close this down, and voila, you can see again this was all created using my awesome script. Very cool. Actually, I can just get rid of all of this because most of it I'm not going to be using. This is very simple. First, let's go ahead and import OS as such, and then let's import the movie editor. So I'm going to say from movie by from editor, import video clip as such, and I don't need to import any of that. That's very good. So those are the two things that we need here. Next, let's add the video folder path, because we want to have a folder path where the script is going to go and fetch all the videos and do all of the things it needs to do. So video folder path as such, and we're going to put something at some point there. Next, let's have a video file path. In this case, I'm just going to call this video dot or underscore titles txt. It's going to be a text file. Okay, so we have all of that at top. Now what we'll do is I'm going to create a few functions here to facilitate things. So I'm going to start by defining a function here called format duration, which is going to take seconds as in this case a parameter. Let's go and get minutes, which in this case I'm going to include all of that into seconds. Okay, and then let's go do seconds, and then what we'll do, let's go ahead and return. So now what we're doing here, we want to have something like says that says 0 minute 02 and then 45 minutes like this, right? So this is the format that we want to happen from what we're getting there. So it's just a helper function to help us put together what we want to see. And I'm going just to remove that and leave the seconds C2D as such. And I'm going to add mins at the end like that. And what we'll do next is we're going to create yet another function here. So this one is going to be the one that is going to do all the work, which is to get the video, process the video, get the minutes, add everything, and then write all of that into a text file. So I'm going to call this get total runtime and titles, right? Because I want to also show the titles. What we need to pass here is the folder path and as well as the output path for this to actually work. All right, so now inside here, this is where we're going to do all the work. So first of all, I'm going to create a total duration, which is going to just be 0 in the beginning. And then I'm going to create a tuple. Essentially, it's going to be a list or an array where I'm going to add all of the video details. I'm going to say video details. I'm going to make that, of course, an empty list. Now we're going to loop through the folder, specific folder where we have all the videos, and I'm going to find all of those files, in this case, video files, and do things with it. Okay, so I'm going to say for file in OS, I'm going to then list directory in this case, and pass in the folder path, as you see there. And we're going to loop through, because now we have, each time we loop through, we're going to have that file name. And I'm going to also make sure that we check if file name ends with, I'm going to pass a few more, .mp4, that is a file extension. And I'm going to also add the mkv format. If that is true, I'm going to put, instead of try catch as such, put a exception as, and then I'm just going to go ahead and print that error. So now inside here, this is where we're going to do some work. So what we will do, first of all, we're going to go ahead and grab the file path for each one of these. So I'm going to say file path, and I'm going to use the OS, and I'm going to indeed join with the folder and the file name. So I'm getting the file path of each one of these individual items. And then I'm going to create a video here. So I'm going to pull in each one of those videos, and I'm going to use the video clip, and I need to pass the file path. So now I'm actually creating a video clip from our file path that we have here, and creating the actual object, which then I pass into a video variable. So I can do all sort of things with that. Okay, next I'm going to use the video, create a video direction. And so to get the video direction is very easy because now we have this object here, video file clip. And so we can say video.direction of that video and then pass that into our variable. Okay, so it's much easier now. All of this is because we're using this movie editor. And let's go ahead and get total duration. So for the total duration, what I'm doing here is I have the variable, and each time we go through, I'm going to take this video duration and add it to this total duration, which you see here at the top, it starts at 0. So for each video as we go through, getting the total duration and adding it up so that at the end we have the total duration for all the videos. And once we're done, we're going to use video again and say close, because we need to close this stream. So next what we'll do is we're going to extract the title of the video without the extension, because we want to put that into the text file so we have the titles of each video. Hey, sorry to interrupt. I know you're enjoying the video that you're watching right now, but I just want to let you know of something that it's really important. I have started a community that is for developers, people who want to learn how to code, or people who already know how to code. So a community of like-minded people such as yourself, a place where you can get all the resources, all support, as well as courses and many things that I'm going to be adding to that community. So you have the support that you need to grow as a developer, because many people find very helpful to have a support system when you're learning new skills or sharpening your existing skills. So this community is a place for you. So if you're interested, there should be a link in the description below so you can go ahead and join. Continue on. So to do that, we are going to, I'm going to say title. We are trying to go and say, well, remove this. We just want to say the lesson 1. That's exactly what we're doing here. So I'm going to use OS, pass splitter, and then I'm going to use the split text, which is going to go ahead and do exactly this. So it's going to go ahead and remove this MP4 or whichever extension it has and give me only the title, the text. Now that we have the actual text, the title, we want to be able to append the duration for each video. So I'm going to say formatted duration, and I'm going to set that to format duration as such and pass the video duration. So this format is indeed this format duration which we have here. So now we should be able to call that function inside here, and so that way we have what we really want, which is going to be the lesson name as such, and then at the end we should have something like 2 minutes, something like this, right? 3 minutes 45 seconds, that is. So that's what we have there. And now what we'll do, since we have all this information for each one of our videos, we do have here at the end the video details. So we can actually append or add into our list here, tuples, the video details, okay, for each one of these videos. So all I do, I'm say video details that append, and that's what I'm going to append here. So I'm appending, as you see here. So I'm appending the title without extension. So essentially this, and then I'm adding dash and then getting the actual minutes. So still inside of our get total, runtime, and titles. So, but we need to get out of our for loop. You can see these lines here, right? So I'm going to go ahead down here, aligned with our for, outside of that. So this is where I'm going to say with open. So this is the time where we write the total numbers of videos into an actual file. So I'm going to say output path as such, writable, be able to write. And I want to make sure that also I pass some encoding here to make sure everything is correct. So encoding, and give that UTF-8, then as F, and then you can say F.write. So what I'm doing here now, I'm going to just pass all that information at once. I'm going to write saying total duration and pass the format duration, which then we pass the total duration. So essentially we're going to have total duration is 61 minutes or something like that. All right, and then we're going to create a new line, and also I want to have the total amount of video, total number of videos. So f.write, and I have total videos here. So essentially what I do here by the function L, so it's going to go ahead and look at the video details, because remember this video details here, it's a list tuple, right, which will have all of these items, all of these videos that we added here. So it's going to know how many videos we have. And so what we'll do now is that since it's a list, it's going to have a length, and that's why we can pull in the length of this list, which is going to be the amount of videos that we have. So next what we'll do, we're going to go through the video details, this list, right? And this list that contains all of the videos, and then we're going to extract the title as well as the duration from that list, this list here that contains all of the video details. And then what we'll do here is we're also going to write the title like we had before, and then dash, and then we have the length, in this case runtime, for that video, for each one of those videos, because we want to write that onto the text. So I'm going to put a for here. So I'm going to say for title, because I can distract essentially what I want to get out of this. So I'm going to say duration in video details. And then I'm going to use the F write again, the file to write into that file, and then write, I'm going to have title and the duration appended to the right. And what I want to do also for this whole function here, because we inside of this get total, runtime, and titles, I want to be able to also return something from this function. Okay, so I'm going to say return total duration, and I'm going to divide that by 60. So now outside here, I'm going to call the function we just created. And then of course, because it's going to return the total duration for the entire folder containing all this video. So I'm going to put all of that, say, into a variable. So total minutes, I'm going to say get total minutes, and pass, in this case, the video path, right? And the video file path. So I'm calling indeed this function here, which we've been working on, which indeed needs to have the folder path where all the videos are, and the output path where we want to put this text, which will have text file, which will have all of this information, right? So that's very simple, nothing really out of this world, and make sure everything is good. And what I can also do at the bottom here, I can just print something to get me these total minutes. So I can say total minutes or total runtime of all videos is, and just get rid of this. Okay, that's fine. And I can also format this a little bit better to F, just to make it look much better. So it's going to have total minutes, and then it's going to have 2 decimal to say those are the seconds. Okay, so it's just a little bit of format. Okay, so everything is good. Let's just see. Of course, at the top here, we need to put the actual folder path where we have video. So in this case, I already have that. In your case, if you want to test it out, you should have a folder which has videos were rendered of some sort, even one video that would work. So I have mine here. This is one of my courses, and so I have video titles.txt. That's the video file path, so make sure we have that. So let's see if this works. I think it should work. We didn't make any mistakes, so let's save all of that and open our terminal. And then I'm going to say Python, for me on Mac, Python 3 app.py, and let's see if this works. Enter. We'll see that if all goes well, we should see a text file that will show here. It looks like I have some issues. All right, so file name mp4 mk. Let's see what the problem is. Ends with text at most 3 arguments. Let's see, what did I do wrong? Okay, so I'm going to just put all of that inside as such, because I'm going to pass all those as just one argument. We can pass more arguments if we want, but if we put like that, these are going to be considered just one argument. Okay, let's see, save that and open our terminal again. I'm going to go ahead and clear and say Python run. And if all goes well, we should see a text file. Voila, video titles, everything went well, hopefully. All right, so total videos 21, 60 minutes and 59 minutes, 60 minutes and 59 mins. So something is not right. It's okay, we're going to get there. Looks like we're having some too many values to unpack expected. All right, what is this error? All right, so for titles, duration in video details. Okay, so here I'm appending, this is not the right way because I want to append it as tuples, as kind of objects in themselves. So I don't need to do all of that, so I'm going to just delete. So what I will do here, I'm going to pass the title without extension, so essentially that, And then I'm going to pass the formatted duration as such. Okay, so we need to pass them as tuples or tuples, I think that's what they're called. All right, I think this is way better. Let's save this. And what we'll do is let's go ahead and delete this right away so we have something new to show. Okay, let's go back here and let's run. If all goes well, we should see good results, and voila, you can see total runtime, all videos 61 and 0 minutes. Okay, so that's going to be an hour, over an hour. And we have our video titles here, and looks like everything is looking good. So now we can see we have total of 21 videos indeed, and 60 minutes and 59 seconds. I should probably put seconds here, but you can change that if you want to do that. Okay, and you can see total videos 21 again, and we have all the lessons, and we have for each one of those lessons we have the total runtime for each one of those, which is really good. So this helps me as a content creator to have an idea. Say, okay, that one folder, which is one section, is a little bit over an hour. So there you go. You have this awesome little tool that may not be useful to you, but it is indeed useful to me. And the idea here is not to have you build something like this for you if there's no use to it, but it's just to show you how awesome, how amazing Python is, and have this mindset of always thinking about what are the things that I can change or I can use or create to help me in my day-to-day, because that's why we are learning to code. That's why we spend countless hours and years perfecting these skills so that we can build something useful. What I want you to think about is to take this to a next level. Maybe you want something that does something a little different than this, right? So now you have the tools. So go ahead and do that. I hope this was helpful. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.